Ladies and gentlemen, now I've got something to ask you. Pay attention, please. Have you booked your dream holiday yet for 2022? And for that matter, 2023? Fantastic. Yes, I know many of you have, but if you haven't, why not? Now is the time to turn those travel dreams into travel reality and have something really special to look forward to next year. Well, in today's show, we're going to make it all super easy for you as the team at Wendy Wu Tours are ready to whisk you away again to the most amazing destinations in the world. And at the same time, give you a taste of the best travel experiences on the planet. Fantastic to see you today. A pleasure to be in your company once again. I'm Andy, your host on this, our brand new Good to Go travel show. Yes, get ready to travel with us as we bring you all the very best destinations that are open for travel right now. And what's more, all the destinations that you see in today's show, they're all fully open and completely ready for travel. How amazing is that? So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up today, I'm back with our travel gurus, the fonts of all travel knowledge at Wendy Wu Tours, to find out what's been happening on the Wendy Wu Tours Good to Go travel list, including a new addition to the list. Wait for it, big news, you heard it here first at Wendy Wu Tours. Cambodia. Yes, Cambodia is back and now firmly on our Good to Go travel list. We're off to the land of smiles, a country as rich in natural beauty as it is in historical riches. A new addition to the list, yes, it's Thailand. It's often called the land of serendipity, the pearl of the Indian Ocean. Yes, we're whisking you away to Sri Lanka, another newbie on our list. Plus, we've got, just for you, the hottest travel offers, and they are so hot, I'm breaking out in a sweat just thinking about them. More on these offers later in today's show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a confession. Peru was going to be on today's show, yes, and Peru is firmly on our Good to Go travel list. But when we heard the news about Cambodia and that Cambodia was opening once again, well, we were so excited. We couldn't wait. We couldn't contain this information and we just had to tell you about it. But don't worry, if you've joined today and want to see more of Peru, just click on the link on your screen now and you'll be able to see our special Peru presentation. Now, straight after today's show, you have a VIP invitation to our special party room, where you'll meet our travel experts, be able to chat with friends and fellow travellers, and of course, ask as many questions as you like. So please stay with us until the end of today's show and come and join us in the party room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, very excited to be joined again by Peter Crane, Global Product Director here at Wendy Wu Tours, and Kate Rowe, Head of Reservations here at Wendy Wu Tours. Great to see you both.
Hi, Andy.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great, good to see you again. So Peter, huge developments on the Wendy Wu Tours Good to Go Green List. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't looked at this list yet, then please do. It is your definitive source of all the good to go destinations, no quarantine, no restrictions. Pete, we saw this list for the first time last month. 13 countries on the list then, and we focused on Central Asia and Jordan. Now this month, the list is even bigger. So what's happening on the list and what should we all be getting excited about?
Yes, Andy, this month the list has grown up to 18 countries from 13 previously, as you mentioned. The list will continue to grow over the coming months, so do keep an eye on it, as you said. The two destinations we're really excited to see on the list now are Cambodia and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has always been a really popular destination for us at Wendy Wu Tours, and we've got lots of customers already booked for 2022 departures on our Highlights of Sri Lanka tour, which covers the whole island of Sri Lanka, all its cultural interest in a lot of detail. In Cambodia, we have a tour called Around Cambodia, which again is a very comprehensive, fully inclusive itinerary in Cambodia, with plenty of people booked on 2022 departures, and we're delighted to have that back on track and expecting those trips to fill up very quickly. Now the tour is now the destination is on our good to go list.
Gosh, exciting! Great to see that list getting better. Kate, like Peter said, Cambodia is now on that good to go travel list. So does that mean that we're going to see more of Asia now appearing on the list? And What about India, Thailand and Israel, as I heard that they were also good to go? Come on, Kate, what's the news on those?
Well, Andy, you're right. They're nearly good to go. Let me explain that a little bit more. So they have been making fantastic moves to opening up to vaccinated tourists. However, at the moment, those countries that you've mentioned, so India, Thailand and Israel, still require travellers to quarantine for 24 hours on arrival. And as you know, we want to keep our green list, our good to go list, really simple, really straightforward, and keep it to countries that don't require any quarantine or any self-isolation. So for that reason, those countries aren't on just yet. However, you know, as we've already seen, the situation keeps changing, the list keeps changing, and so we are really confident that very shortly we will be able to add those countries onto our list.
Great to see, and we can't wait to see India, Thailand, Israel appearing on that good to go list very soon. Peter, the million-dollar question that everybody is asking, China and Japan. Now, when are we going to see these two magnificent countries appearing on that good to go list?
It's the million-dollar question, as you said. China, we think, is at a bit of a turning point. They have the Winter Olympics scheduled in February next year, and we expect the authorities will use that as a chance to assess when they can safely reopen their borders. Japan is massively exciting because we are hearing rumours now that the authorities are trialling incoming tourism in Japan in December of this year, with a view to reopening the borders in March, April, May next year, in time for the cherry blossom season. And as you'll be aware, we've got lots of customers booked on those departures in March and April especially for the cherry blossom, having missed it in 2020 and again in 2021. The departures in 2022 we're almost certain, be going ahead as planned.
How exciting. And ladies and gentlemen, as Peter said, 2 years we've missed Sakura cherry blossom in Japan. 2022, we're on. We're getting there. So Kate, since last month, that good to go travel list has grown to 18 countries now. An incredible buzz in the air, I know, at Wendy Wu Tours, since those quarantine rules changed. The phones haven't stopped ringing. I know everybody's been working really hard. What we all want to know though, Kate, is what's in demand and what is creating all this buzz?
Sure, you're right. It's so exciting to finally have tours operating. You know, it's exciting for us as a team, and it's so exciting to be able to speak to customers who can see now that their trip in 2022 is likely to go ahead, and that they can finally start to get really excited about it. So we're seeing inquiries for a huge mix of destinations. The trips to Europe have been really popular. There's a lot of our customers who had their trips this year cancelled, and they were really keen to get away and have booked to go to Portugal, Italy, Greece in spring 2021. Sorry, 2022. Can't remember what year it is. It's been a strange one, Andy. And then, of course, we're seeing lots of inquiries for India. So as I mentioned before, India's not quite there, but now people can see that it's nearly there and it will be there. We're seeing lots of inquiries and bookings for India next year. And South America is another region that's proving popular. Most of South America now is on our good to go list. So we are getting a lot of inquiries for Peru, for example, where people are really keen to finally tick off some of those bucket list trips and bucket list destinations now that they finally can.
How exciting. So great to see more countries coming on that list. It means that in 2022 and 2023, our travel realities, it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So exciting. Peter, I've got to ask you, Scotland. Now, Scotland has made a new addition to the Wendy Wu Tours programme, and I believe the first tour to Scotland actually ran last month. So how did it go? And are we going to see more of Scotland from Wendy Wu Tours?
Yes, Andy, it did actually operate last month and was a very successful tour. This was the tour that sold out within a week of going on sale in the summer of this year, departed in October. The full group went to Edinburgh, to Glasgow, to the Highlands, to the islands, took in all the highlights of Scotland, plus the lesser known gems that only the Wendy Wu Tours programme will take you to. As an added bonus on this trip, the group were welcomed by Wendy for the last few days. Wendy herself flew up and spent some time with the group, travelling through the last few days of the tour. She enjoyed Scotland so much, she's actually decided to go back to Scotland at Christmas of this year and join our Christmas in Scotland tour. Now this is a special one-off bespoke trip for Christmas, departing on the 19th of December with, I think there are some spaces left available. We just have a short tour starting in Glasgow, finishing in Edinburgh, and Wendy will be joining the last few days of the tour in Edinburgh with her son Alexander for that part of the trip over Christmas weekend.
Wonderful, how exciting. So ladies and gentlemen, as you see, lots to choose from, and check your Christmas plans if you haven't got plans already. Christmas in Scotland with Wendy Wu Tours. Kate, Peter, thank you so much, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, great catching up with our travel experts at Wendy Wu Tours, Peter and Kate. Now, who is ready to travel? Yes, our big news, the country where it's said that nature, the divine and light all join together. It's over to our travel expert, Joe Lavers, for a magical journey around Cambodia. Joe.
My name's Joe Lavers, Senior Business Development Manager for Wendy Wu Tours, and I'm going to talk to you about Cambodia, and particularly our tour around Cambodia. So Cambodia is a fantastic destination, bordering with Vietnam and Thailand, and whose landscapes span low-lying plains, the Mekong Delta, mountains, and the Gulf of Thailand coastline. 95% of the people in Cambodia are Buddhists, and Khmer is also their only official language. Now, with regards to size, Cambodia is approximately 3/4 the size of the UK, so it does make it a very nice size to actually tour around. And of course, it is home to the largest religious monument in the world, Angkor Wat. And that monument has such importance to the Cambodian people that their national flag is the only flag in the world that actually features a building, which is, of course, Angkor Wat. So around Cambodia is a 15-day classic tour. So it is fully inclusive, including our fantastic guides, all of your experiences, your flights, predominantly 4-star accommodation, and of course, all of your fabulous meals. And we start in Siem Reap, and then we travel down to Battambang, and then from there we'll spend some time in Kampot on the coast and finish up in the capital Phnom Penh, from where you will then fly back to the UK after an amazing, incredible journey around this fascinating country. So I'm just going to give you a few of the highlights of this amazing tour. You'll arrive in Siem Reap, staying in fabulous accommodation, get to meet your guide and all of your fellow guests as well with your welcome dinner. And then the tour will really truly start as we journey to the old city of Angkor Thom, and we'll pass through the magnificent South Gate, which is flanked by 54 gods and demons. And at the centre is also the enigmatic Bayon, a real breathtaking temple with lots of sculptural decorations. Admire the elephant terrace and also the terrace of the Leper King. And we'll continue to Ta Prom before the rest of the day is dedicated to Angkor Wat. As I said, probably the most magnificent and the best preserved of all of Angkor's treasures. The largest religious monument in the world, and it truly is stunning. And then later into the evening, a really wonderful experience. I absolutely loved this when I was there, where we sail out into the middle of Angkor Thom's moat, in a small sampan vessel. And it truly is amazing as you sit there, just watch the sunset come down. You can hear the crickets and the birds, and it's absolutely beautiful. What a fabulous way to end your day. Now, food always plays such an important part on a Wendy Wu tour. We do get you to some fantastic restaurants, tasting some really, really amazing food and regional specialities. But on this tour as well, something extra special, and you'll enjoy a traditional Cambodian cooking class with a local person learning about the flavors that go into Khmer cuisine. And then in the evening, you'll enjoy the talents of the Fair Cambodian Circus. And this really is a fantastic performance. And it's delivered by graduates of a charitable performing arts college. So this NGO, they really transform the likes of and the lives of disadvantaged local youths through education and vocational training, as well as performance. And I assure you, it is an absolutely stunning show. Now, this tour really is just one fantastic experience after another, and we'll visit Tonle Sap Lake. Now, this truly is stunning as you pass by the water villages with these houses, if you like, on stilts, and you can really observe and immerse yourself in the life of the locals who live along this sort of estuary. And then you actually get out to Tonle Sap itself, which is a huge, huge lake. Literally, it feels like being at sea. It's such a wonderful experience to go out here on these small vessels that we'll travel out on. And then in the evening, a fantastic show again with an Apsara dance show. Now, this is a traditional dance of the Cambodian kingdom, which dates back all the way to the 7th century and is absolutely fascinating and a real spectacle for the eyes. So leaving Siem Reap over the next few days, we'll spend some time in Battambang, known as the Rice Bowl of the country. And we'll travel in and around this area. We'll visit the National Silk Centre to learn about the cultivation of silk, the planting of mulberry trees, which are used to raise the silkworms and the harvesting of their silk threads. You'll have some leisure time. We'll go out to the 12th century Prasat Banyan temple and admire the breathtaking hilltop views, as we also take a stroll through Battambang village and the village of Wat Ker and explore local house for a glimpse of traditional Khmer life. So lots and lots of immersive experience with the local people before we then make our journey down through to Phnom Penh, which is the capital of Cambodia. Now, Phnom Penh is an interesting city. It feels very European with lots of boulevards and colonial villas and still marked by the events of the Khmer regime. It's been engulfed by energy and optimism, and it really is a lovely place to spend some time. We'll take a cyclo ride to the magnificent Royal Palace, see the Silver Pagoda, and also spend time at the National Museum as well. And of course, no visit to this area would be complete without learning about part of Cambodia's tragic past under the Khmer Rouge regime. And we will visit the killing fields and the Tual Slong Museum. And quite a moving experience, of course, to see what was once a school that was turned into a concentration camp and the atrocities that happened there. We will then later visit the city's craft brewery for a tour and a tasting, and we'll be able to then reflect on this Asian capital as we move on to our next destination. We then spend some time in Kampot. Now, this is a former port city and is a really enchanting small town. It's best known for its sleepy, relaxed atmosphere and, of course, its salt and pepper production. And we will go out to a pepper farm to find out how this fantastic Kampot pepper is made and cultivated. You'll have time to wander the town as well and admire the dilapidated French colonial architecture. And from Kampot, we'll have a day trip along the coast to the beach town of Kep. And we'll have a barbecue lunch at the sailing club here. And you'll have the afternoon free at leisure to explore independently maybe even heading to the Kep crab market, which is a real haven and heaven for people who love seafood. And then we'll return back to Kampot after this wonderful, wonderful, quite relaxing day out. So that's just a brief overview of our Around Cambodia 15-day tour. And as with all of our Wendy Wu tours, we always have something special on our last evening. And we'll spend time in Phnom Penh before flying back. We'll have a leisurely afternoon and then enjoying a fantastic farewell dinner on a dinner cruise of the Mekong River. So a real stunning end. Chance for you to tell your tales and stories to each other and enjoy each other's company for the last time before you fly back home to the UK.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cambodia. Fantastic to see this spectacular destination on our good to go travel list. Now, are you ready to see some more? Let's continue on our journey together as we take flight to the Indian Ocean. It's over to our travel expert, Glenn Thomas, for a journey through the highlights of Sri Lanka. Glenn.
Hello, my name is Glenn Thomas and I am Head of Group Sales and Partnerships at Wendy Wu Tours. I have the honour today of highlighting one of my favourite parts of the world, Sri Lanka, on our 15-day fully inclusive tour, Highlights of Sri Lanka. An island of spirit, spice and all things nice, Sri Lanka sits off the tip of India in the waters of the Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka boasts 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and a colourful culture, an intriguing mix of deep-rooted Buddhist beliefs and many worldwide influences from it being a colonial outpost for the Portuguese, Dutch and British. On this tour you will see many beautiful historical sites as well as beautiful scenery and magnificent tea plantations. So let's waste no more time and let me explain some of the highlights of this tour. After your flight from the UK, we will arrive into Colombo and take the short journey up to your coastal hotel in Negombo and get the chance to relax and unwind, either stay in your room, have a look around the surrounding area or take a swim in the pool. After a restful night's sleep, we will start our adventure, travelling up to Segura, Dambulla and Kandy before heading down to Nuwara Eliya, or Little England as it's known. Udawali and Yala National Parks, which is right on the coast, and to end the tour we will travel via Old Goal back to Colombo and our journey back home. So after our long flight and our relaxing overnight stay in Negombo, we start the tour and head off up to Sigara, home to the 5th century UNESCO World Heritage listed rock fortress Lion Rock. You will enter through some beautiful gardens and start your climb of the rock. There are actually 2 levels, one which is extremely easy and one a little bit more challenging, but both of them give you absolutely magnificent views of the surrounding areas. And having done it myself and got to level 2, it was well worth the experience. We will discover Polonnaru, yet another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the old capital of Sri Lanka from the 11th to 12th centuries, a well-preserved city of stupas, frescoes and statues. We will also marvel at the dagobas, the domes and the sacred relics of Anuradhapura. One of the dagogas actually dates back to the 2nd century BC. Already on day 6, we will explore the Dambulla Rock Temple, dating back to the 1st century BC. The temple is made up of 5 cave sanctuaries containing some of Sri Lanka's most important Buddha images. As is typical of one of the sanctuaries, it's surrounded by lovely gardens and a lovely walk up to the temple itself. You will be reminded to take your shoes off before you go into any of these temples, and you'll get some little foot protectors to wear. But just remember to take some socks with you. That's probably the best tip there. As we travel south to Kandy, the country's cultural hub, we will also visit a spice garden, and you will actually go around the garden and take in all of the different elements that they have there and have time to purchase anything that's taken your fancy on your trip round. Once in Kandy, we have an action-packed programme for you. We will visit the magnificent botanical gardens, the Temple of the Tooth Relic, which is one of the most revered Buddhist sites in the world, and the museum at the former royal palace. And if that's not enough, you will also enjoy some traditional cultural dancing in the evening. The next part of the tour is one of my favourite parts. As we head off to Nuwara Eliya, which is 2,000 metres above sea level, you will marvel at the scenery. It is truly wonderful. You will see an abundance of tea plantations, you will see the war cemeteries, and you will see plenty of windy roads going up through the tea plantations. The views are spectacular. It is known as Little England, and it's well known for its tea production. And we will visit one of these tea plantations and learn all there is to know about the tea product. You will learn about the plant. You will even go out and pick some of the tea leaves and know which are the most valuable parts of the tea. And most importantly, if like me you love your tea, you will get to try the different ranges and see the level of teas that you actually get and what are produced in Sri Lanka. You'll also get a chance to visit the tea shop there, and if you get a chance to buy some of the gold leaf tea, believe me, you will absolutely love it. After the excitement of Little England and the tea plantation, the tour continues south and a visit to the Udawali Elephant Transit Home. This is where abandoned baby elephants are cared for before being released back into the park. Such a great experience, and it's just before our visit to the Yala National Park, Sri Lanka's premier national park, located on the southern tip of the coastline on the Indian Ocean. After a restful night's sleep, we are up early for the morning jeep safari and watching the world come to life. Look out for the elephants, the deer, the many variety of different birds and many other species, and most importantly, the leopards. The beauty of this tour is you will also have an afternoon safari, so 2 safaris in one day, something not to be missed. After all the excitement of the jeep safaris, we take the leisurely coastal road to Galle. We will see the Humania blowhole, and after lunch, one of the largest Buddhist images in the world, standing at over 48 metres high. Whilst continuing our drive down the coastline, look out for the unique stilt fishermen. This old tradition is still practiced by around 500 fishing families in the region to this day. When we arrive in Old Galle, Sri Lanka's finest colonial treasure, you will see the lighthouse, the old town, and the UNESCO World Heritage listed Dutch fort. There is a massive Dutch influence here. Before continuing our journey on to Colombo, we will also visit the Koskoda Turtle Sanctuary. Established in 1981 to protect the turtle population, it's a must-do visit for anyone visiting Sri Lanka. The tour will end with a 2-night stay in Colombo. A full city tour awaits, as well as an abundance of temples, historical sites, museums, and for those that wish, plenty of shops to visit. Sri Lanka is now on the green list, so why not join us on this superb journey and holiday of a lifetime? You can see all of the details that I've discussed today on our website at wendywotours.co.uk. I very much look forward to seeing you on a Wendy Wu tour soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic time we're all having here together today. And aren't we clocking up those air miles? One of my personal favourites now for culture, sheer beauty, and of course, the mouth-watering food. It's over to our travel expert, Sandra Foreman, for a journey around the best of Thailand. Sandra.
Thanks, Andy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Sandra Foreman from Wendy Wu Tours, and I'm delighted to share with you this afternoon our Thailand Highlights tour, which really does offer you the perfect introduction to Southeast Asia with its wonderful wealth of sights, experiences, both exotic and familiar, as you'll venture into the less explored areas and explore the pristine nature and the local culture of what this amazing destination has to offer. This is a 13-day tour, and it begins in Bangkok and it travels north and ends in Chiang Mai. The exciting first 3 days of this tour starts in the vibrant city of Bangkok, and it is a city of contrast. It's got the tranquil golden temples, the gleaming skyscrapers, and you're rubbing shoulders with the bustling, colourful markets and the mega malls, which are such an assault on the senses. It's a whirlwind of chaos, refinement, reward and sights where beneath the hustle and bustle there's so many hidden gems waiting to be discovered, and they offer a unique taste of the Thai culture and history. Now, Thailand has been the dominant city since the 18th century with a population of over 7 million. In your first few days in Bangkok, you'll enjoy a sightseeing tour of the city, including a visit to Wat Pho, one of Bangkok's largest temples, and here you'll be able to experience the monks with their daily chant, and you'll explore the grounds around Wat Pho. This has the largest reclining Buddha, and the largest collection of Buddha images in Thailand are housed here. We'll take a tour of the dazzling Grand Palace, and within the palace, the impressive buildings, and it is the city's most famous landmark, which was built in 1782, and for 150 years it was home to the Thai king. And then we'll take a stroll through Chinatown, and this is an amazing ambience teeming with market stalls, side streets and restaurants. I really love this part of Bangkok, and it really is not to be missed, this experience. You'll cruise down the Chafrai River on a longboat, and again this is just one of the many forms of transport you'll experience on your Wendy Wu tour, and you'll get an alternative view cruising through Bangkok, travelling to the Pak Long Tole fresh flower market. You'll enjoy the sights and the sounds of the Dam Nguyen Suduak floating market, and the bizarre step back in time to experience the traditional way farmers would trade their produce, and the canals are lined with the boats that are paddled by the local women, and they're piled high with vegetables, fruit and souvenirs for the tourists, and you'll sit back and soak up the atmosphere as the locals go about their daily life, and you'll be really entertained with the haggling technique. And then we'll visit the Samut Songkhram open air famous market, and this is quite fascinating. It's set along a railway line, and the bustle of activity by the stall holders is incredible. And then the train will come, and you'll see the locals moving their way speedily out of the way as the train approaches the track. And this tour then takes us out of Bangkok to Kanchanaburi, one of Thailand's largest provinces, and it's rich in history, which boasts undeniable scenic beauty. And we'll stop at the famous bridge over the River Kwai, and on the way you'll learn about the true story of World War II of the bridge on the River Kwai. And on arriving at Kanchanaburi, we'll visit the Allied War Cemetery, where you can pay your respects and you'll see the thousands of graves belonging to the prisoners who died whilst building the bridge. We'll visit the Jith War Museum, and the museum has many artefacts, photographs, stories on display of the prisoners of World War II. We'll drive to the Hellfire Pass, and this is a dramatic part of the railway that literally cuts through the mountains, and you can take a walk through the pass and travel on an old locomotive along a section of the notorious Death Railway passing through the Kwai Gorge. You'll explore the fascinating Hellfire Pass Memorial Museum, which tells you the stories, sadly, of the human suffering at the hands of the engineering feat. We'll discover the splendour of the ancient historical capital of Ayutthaya before we take a short flight to Chiang Rai, where we'll venture deep into Thailand's northern highlands. And Chiang Mai really does offer, again, that amazing culture, spectacular location amidst jungle-clad hills, very cosmopolitan, but also with that ancient city walls, excellent museums, restaurants, boutiques. We'll then transfer to an area known as the Golden Triangle region, and the views here are sensational, with abundance of natural scenery, lush rice terraces and wonderful mountains. And you can see Myanmar and Laos in the distance. We'll take a boat ride through the mighty Mekong River to Laos, where you'll visit Donsar Island. You'll visit the markets, which are selling, again, all the local Lao clothing, handicrafts, and you can actually send home your letters here with the postmark of Lao, and in the evening you'll have the opportunity to enjoy and explore the colourful night markets. The area is well known for its tea plantations, and they produce excellent local tea, and you can sample a brew here, and also you'll meet with the traditional local tribe. We'll continue on this tour to Chiang Mai province, where you'll spend a night at a beautiful Liso Eco Lodge, and you'll be a guest of the Liso Hill tribe. And here you are going to live with the locals in the village as you have dinner with them in the evening, and you'll be entertained in the evening by the tribe. And one of my most favourite places to visit, ladies and gentlemen, that I must share with you is the Thai Elephant Care Centre and Rescue Sanctuary. And this is dedicated to looking after the elderly elephants that have been either retired or rescued from the logging camps. And the care centre is located in a beautiful valley, and it's really peaceful, and you will be able to get involved where you can feed, bathe and help care for the gorgeous residents here. And on this tour you'll also discover the secret of the traditional Thai cooking with a cookery class, and you'll enjoy, hopefully, the creation you've made for lunch. And Southeast Asia is incredible for food. It's really a wonderful cuisine with intense flavours, spices, very fresh ingredients, and on all of your Wendy Wu tours you really will find the food a highlight on your tour. So on our last day in Chiang Mai, you'll have the opportunity to climb the Naga staircase or catch a cable car and visit the exquisite Golden Pagoda. You'll have wonderful panoramic views. You'll end this day with a farewell dinner with your tour group, our wonderful guides, and a real treat from the northern Thailand various hill tribes. That brings us to the end of our Thailand Highlights tour. You may decide you want to add an extension at one of the beautiful beaches that dot around the island, or return back home. I do hope you've enjoyed the presentation today. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, earlier in today's show, I mentioned those hot travel offers, those red hot travel offers, the best travel offers on the planet. Book any of the tours featured in today's show, the Good to Go travel list, and you'll see that list on our website as well. So all the destinations featured there. And wait for it, your partner flies for free. That's a saving of up to £450 per person. A whopping £900 saving per couple. Or if you're a solo traveller, that's fine, you'll get 50% off your airfare. But to qualify for these special offers, and you don't want to miss out, you need to book by the 29th of November this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've had a taster so far of some of the destinations making our Good to Go travel list. But there's so many more. Take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today, and we hope you enjoyed your travels around Cambodia, Sri Lanka and Thailand just as much as we have. Plus all the exciting news about those destinations that are now fully open for travel. Just how travel should be, and we can't wait to take you there again. So now we're coming to the best part of the show, the party room. The party room where you're going to meet our expert travel team who can't wait to meet you. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to find out so much more about the destinations you've seen today. Plus, of course, more on those fantastic special offers. Hey, and as it's a party, yes, it's a great opportunity to mingle with many like-minded friends who, just like you, simply love to travel. So now you'll see the link to the party room on your screen. Really easy, just click on that link and you're in. And remember, you can ask a question at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a real pleasure. Really enjoyed it today. Great to see you. Thank you. And now let's head over to the party room.